transform dramatically. You begin to tap into your inner integrity and live authentically. You can live in acceptance and not be authentic. And if you're living authentically, you naturally move into a state of bliss. See where this is leading. The three practices I've mentioned above are the primary catalysis for opening yourself up to how wonderful life can be. There are, however, many other practical things you can do that will help you become more aligned with these principles. Here are a few suggestions. Find beauty in the little things. It's amazing to me how when I stop the incessant mental chatter and actually you just see things, I am blown away by how beautiful they are. The trees swaying, the leaves blowing around on the ground, the waves crashing on the shore. The simplest of things have the most profound beauty, but you can only see them if you're really there. If your mind is polluting, if you're off somewhere else, you will completely miss them. Embrace your artistry. If you think you are not a creative person, I'm here to respectfully tell you, you're wrong. You couldn't not create, even if you wanted to. Every time you open your mouth, every story you tell yourself about the drama in your life is an act of creation. You're constantly shaping, reinventing, and writing the story of your life. Once you recognize this, it's much more powerful for you to see yourself as an artist rather than a non-creative person. So the question is, what story will you create today? Life without limits. Some limits are positive and necessary, like speed limits. But a lot of the limits we place on our lives block us from experiencing our full potential. Arbitrary limits, like fearing to reach out to a homeless person or talk to a stranger, restrict the flow of love in our lives. Realize that beauty can be found in the most mundane. Beauty is not always realized through a life-changing moment or a great epiphany. It's not always hidden in a rainbow, in an earth-shattering orgasm, or found skydiving at 5,000 feet above the ground. Beauty is often found through looking into a newborn's eyes, in the blooming of a flower, or in paint peeling off an old fence. It's often where you least expect it. See for the first time. Sometimes we get budged down in schedules and obligations, and we lose our sense of wonder about the simple joys next time. Live intimately with life. See, next time you have a drink of coffee or tea, completely take in the smell and the flavor of the beverage. When you breathe, feel the air enter your lungs. When you walk, really feel the ground beneath your feet. The amount of beauty you experience in life is largely related to your level of intimacy with life. If you are walking around disconnected, you overlook the wealth of artistry that is available to you right now. Make your passion a priority. It's easy to get wrapped up in doing all of these things that we think must get done. Wanting everything to be perfect gets in the way of having time for the things you really care about. While the errands and things on your to-do list might be necessary, it's important to make the things you love a priority. If you have a hard time with distractions getting in your way, make a specific time during your day that is sacred, where you only do what you really want to do. Maybe it's an hour of kung fu or yoga in the morning before the rest of the world wakes up. Maybe it's 30 minutes of mahjong before you're turning for the night. Whatever it is, you have to make it a priority, or it will get lost in the vacuum of the minutiae abuzz. Focus on the good. The reason still puzzles me, but we humans have a tendency to focus on the negative in events, circumstances, and people. We have a tendency to count our misfortunes and all the things that are lacking before we count our blessings. Make a habit of focusing on all the things we are grateful for, and you will open yourself up to experiencing the beauty of life. Give something away. I found that the best way to reconnect with how beautiful life can be is to give something away. It doesn't have to be anything material. It can be a compliment, a smile, or a positive intention for someone else. Sometimes the greatest gift you can give is sincerely giving your presence. This list is by no means exhaustive. There are just the things that have worked for me. Experiment on your own and take chances. Sometimes a deep breath or a smile at a stranger is all it takes to bring you back into a state of presence. Closing thoughts. It's easy to get motivated to follow or chase a new proactive idea. Seeing the beauty in the ordinary sounds quite alluring, but like most things, watch our fleeting interest, our well-intended desires get lost in our rush to get things done and keep up with the day-to-day business of living. To make our perception of life being amazing a constant perception rather than a transient one, we have to slow down. It's only through seeing the wisdom of slowing down, breathing and being present that we can realize how ridiculous it is to always be in a hurry. We may think we are moving quicker and getting more things done, but in doing so, we miss the point to enjoy life now. Only by slowing down and being here now can we make what we are doing worthwhile. It's in slowing down that we allow ourselves space to experience life more fully. We often go through life trying to eliminate and fill up space as much as possible in an attempt to maximize our time. But in the end, the exact opposite happens. It's through space that air fills your lungs. It's through space that your body moves. It's through space, in the vibration of the air, that sound is heard. It's in the gaps between veins that blood flows. Without the space between these letters, there would be no words for you to read. It would all be incoherent. In this way, you realize something